Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Bamboo Theory. I'm your host, Toya, and today we are talking boundaries. I thought that this was a fitting follow up for forgiveness. If you have not seen episode 1, be sure to go back and check it out, okay, so that you're all caught up. But I think that once you learn to forgive yourself and to forgive others, sometimes it's necessary to set or adjust your boundaries so that you don't fall victim to the same circumstances. Okay, so what do I mean? What are boundaries? Boundaries are basically just limits that you set with the people around you. So they can be your coworkers, your friends, your family, your spouse, whoever, the people that you interact with. And this is not to say that you cannot help people. Basically, boundaries allow you to help without compromising yourself, because it's very easy to do that. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and burdened with other people's responsibilities. Okay? How do you know that you need to set boundaries? I have a few questions for you. Do you have a hard time saying no? Even when you say no, do you change your mind and say yes because you feel so bad? When you do say yes and you do help people with things, do you have that inner conversation with yourself like, you know what, I shouldn't be here. I should have said no. I don't know why I came. Do you think that people don't necessarily respect you, but they come to you because they can get something from you? Are you constantly adjusting to the needs of others? If you answer yes to one or all of these questions, girl, we got some work to do because no, this is your life to live, and you cannot live it wholly and completely for everyone else. You have to save a little of that for yourself, a lot of that for yourself actually. Okay? And don't feel bad. A lot of people struggle with this. A lot of people have a hard time saying no and setting boundaries with the people that they care about. Okay? Because we think that, when you really care about somebody, you shouldn't tell them no. You should be there for any and everything that they need. And that's just simply not true. I can love you and still say no. I can love you and still do things for me. Okay? I think that we actually learn that from our childhood. I don't know about you, but I think back to times when, I had to hug people that I didn't want to hug or share when I didn't want to share. And it might sound childish, but at the same time, I think that is the framework for a lack of boundaries. From the time that we are small, we are often told to put our comfort aside to make other people comfortable. You get what I mean? So if you have this issue, don't feel bad. A lot of people do. This is a very common thing, okay? I think also that, I need to forewarn you that it may be a process. It may not be the easiest thing setting boundaries. Before we get into it, let's talk about, the fact that some people may cheer you on. Some people may support you and say, hey, I see you, do what you need to do, right? But some people may be offended. Some people may try to guilt trip you and make you feel bad for saying no. Those are the people that we need to prepare for because it can get rough. A lot of the main reason that we have a hard time saying no is for that reason. Like, we don't want to let people down. We don't want to make people feel bad. So those very people sometimes will use that against you and make you feel guilty for telling them no. I think one of the main responses I've heard people say, they'll say things like, oh, you never cared about me anyway. I don't know why I asked. Right? And it's like, you know why you asked. You asked because I always say yes. What are you talking about? Right? People will try to guilt trip you if they can. So be cautious with that and know that for some people, with some people, that may be coming, okay? Some people may try to say, oh, you never did anything for me. And it's like, wait, you know what? You know you did things for them. And they know you did things for them. So whether or not you were genuine with your intentions, that's not the real issue here. Okay, the issue was that somewhere along the lines you said yes so many times and you were there so often that their appreciation became expectation. And now that you're setting limits and you're saying I can't be there for you every time that you call, they are having a fit. They can't adjust. They now need a new source. Okay, so don't allow people to make you feel bad, right? Another thing with that is that sometimes, when you do things for people for so long, they seem, not everybody, some people seem to forget that it's an option. Some people seem to forget that you do things because you want to, not because you have to, right? Sometimes you forget that too. Sometimes you forget that you have the right to say no and that you can adjust your boundaries as you see fit. You don't have to be there for people. You don't have to be their problem solver, okay? And I think it's necessary to check in with yourself a little more often to remind yourself of that. Because it's absolutely insane to keep complaining about a fire that you are fueling. It stops when you stop. All right. I like to use the analogy of a home invasion. And when I say that, people are usually like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Living life without boundaries, it's like being home during a home invasion. Like, you see what they're doing, but you don't say anything. You're actually helping them. You're like, oh, you want that? Okay. I got some more upstairs if you want it. You need that too? I was going to use that this weekend, but okay, you can take it. You see where I'm going with this? Living life without boundaries, you're literally allowing people to come into your space and rob you of your time, your energy, your loyalty, your love, your money, honey. No, where does it end? Where do you draw the line, right? And a lot of us, we feel so bad, and I've heard people say things like, oh, if I don't do it, they won't make it. If I don't help them, they won't learn how to survive. How do you know? How do you know? Is it that they wouldn't know how to survive, or is it that they never had to because they always had you? I get it. You have a big heart. I truly understand it. So many people, more people have a big heart than you think. It's like we run into people who need us, right? So you think that everybody is a leech. Everybody just always needs something. But a lot of people actually have this problem. So many people have these big hearts. And one thing I know about people with big hearts is we attract people who need exactly what we have to offer. All right. We attract broken people. We attract people who can benefit from our generosity and our love and our commitment. Okay. Here's the issue with that. A lot of times we attract these people and we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to set boundaries. And before you know it, you're surrounded by these type of people. You're surrounded by people who constantly need something for you, right? And there's no opening, there's no back door for someone to step in and be there for you. So while you're pouring into everybody else, nobody is here to pour into you, and we can't figure out why we feel so depleted, why we feel so drained, and we don't know how to help solve our own problems the way we help everybody else. That's because you're cutting yourself off. You're literally giving out all of the tools that you need for your own success. You're giving that to everyone else. And like I said, I'm not saying that you cannot help, but what I'm saying is there needs to be a limit. You need to save some of that for yourself, or at least leave an opening so that somebody else can step in and pour back into you. You can't be there for anybody if you're completely done, if you have nothing left to give. So you have to set limits. You have to make time for you. You have to allow people to be there for you the way you're there for everyone else. You get what I mean? And I think that the main way to actually start setting boundaries is to simply say no. And I know that sounds really simple. It sounds so simple that it may not even be the answer, but it's actually a lot harder than you think it is, right? Saying no is actually a lot harder. And that's why we're here. That's why we're having this conversation to begin with, because you don't know how to say no. That's actually the answer. That's how you start to set boundaries. You start by saying no. You start by listening to yourself. If someone asks you to do something and your first thought is no, say that. If someone needs you to be somewhere, or someone needs you to put some money up, or somebody needs something from you and you're just like, oh my God, again, say no. Say no. It's hard at first, because the same way you got them used to leaning on you for support, you trained yourself to be there for them. So when you say no, it's like, man, you feel so bad because you've always been there and you feel like they can't do it. But people are resilient. People are very resourceful, especially in this day and age. They will figure it out. They will figure it out. Trust me. It's just that, if you are going to step in every time and save the day, they don't have to exercise that part. They don't have to go through the ropes of figuring out life, because they always have someone there to save the day. They always have you in their corner. Why would they need to step out and exercise and stretch and figure out what exactly they need to do to solve their own problems when they have you as you're the jackpot. You are the number one problem solver. Why do they need to figure it out if they have you, right? They will be okay. They will be okay. The way to set boundaries, the way to begin to set boundaries, is to simply start by saying no. And then monitor how you feel about it. Recognize how you feel, right? Whenever you say no and you feel bad, think about it. Why do you feel bad about it? Why do you honestly feel bad about it? Is it because you feel like they'll fail without you? Is it because you feel like they may bad talk you to someone else and call you names and whatever else? I honestly got to the point where I don't care how anybody feels about me. Say what you want. The people who know me know me. Anybody else who don't know me, that's fine. You can say what you want. I know what I'm about. The people who know and love me know what I'm about. It is what it is. But that's a topic for a different day, right? What is the reason that you feel bad whenever you say no? Listen to that. Talk to yourself. Write it down. Do whatever you need to do to manage that emotion. But exercise your right to reclaim your time. Exercise your right to reclaim your money. Exercise your right to reclaim whatever it is that you're constantly dishing out to other people because you need some of that for yourself. You can actually sometimes be of a bigger benefit to other people if you're saving some of that for you. Sometimes we overwork ourselves and we overexert, our resources for everyone else, and we have absolutely nothing left. Eventually, you won't be able to help anyway because you're so depleted. You have to save some of that for you. You have to set boundaries, and you have to start by saying no. You say no, and then you monitor how you feel when you say no, and eventually you get used to it. Eventually, you'll start feeling so free. I'm telling you, when I first started telling people no, I was like, you know what? I got some extra time on my hands. I got some extra money in my pocket. I got some extra love for me because I've been saying no. You know what the breaking point for me was? What really triggered me to say, you know what? I need to start setting boundaries. Believe it or not, I had someone in a relationship tell me before. I had some kind of a disagreement, argument, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, all the stuff that I did for you, like I've done so many things for you. I can't believe this is how you treat me. And this man looked me in my face and said, I never asked you to do any of that. And normally I probably would have started an argument. I probably would have cursed him out. But I thought about it and he was absolutely right. Everything I did was because I wanted to do it. Sometimes we interject other people's situation just because they told us about it. We automatically put on a cape and feel like we need to jump in and do something. People don't even always ask us for help. They just bring a situation to us, and the way we feel, we're just like, you know what? If you're anything like I was, because that was me, anytime somebody brought something to me, if I can point you in the right direction, I'm pointing. If I can help you with this, I'm helping. If I could say something to make you feel, I would do whatever I could to make the situation better. I felt like that was what I was supposed to be doing until I heard those words. And I was like, you know what? A lot of people don't ask me for the help that I give. I just do it. And then because I do it, I expect that same thing in return. We have to stop expecting us from other people when other people never even showed us that they were capable of giving that back. Right? We have to start setting boundaries based on how we feel, not the way that we want other people to feel. We have to start setting boundaries based on what it is that we need, not what we feel like that person should give us back. Even if you see them doing whatever it is that you feel like you need from them for other people, because sometimes people will do exactly, you can be pouring so much into somebody else and they won't give you that back, but you'll see them doing that for other people. Not your problem. All right, if you're not getting that back from them, if you're not getting what you need from that person, you can set your own boundaries. But stop basing what you do for other people on what you feel like they should be doing back in return. Do it out of love and don't expect it, because that is a great way to get your own feelings hurt, expecting you from other people when other people never even showed you that they were capable of giving you back to you. Right? Boundaries. Set them and don't forget them. Okay? As always, I'm going to end every episode with an affirmation. And today's affirmation is this: I love me enough to prioritize my feelings, and I release any guilt I feel for saying no. You know how this goes. Say it with me. I need you to repeat after me. I love me enough to prioritize my own feelings, and I release any guilt I feel for saying no. If you got any gems from this episode, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. I'll be back next Saturday. As always, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, I just wanted to thank you again for stopping by and to remind you that you can like and subscribe on YouTube at Bamboo Theory. You can also follow me for more on Instagram at bamboo underscore theory. That's BAMBU underscore THEORY. Feel free to let me know what you guys think. I'm always open to any suggestions. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. I'm here for it. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you guys again next week. Bye.